Welcome back to Life Unlimited Show. I'm Nora Oliver, your host, and the owner and CEO of 10X Nora Oliver. Today, we're diving into the topic that impacts millions of people worldwide, the migraines. For many, migraines aren't just headaches. They're life-disrupting, often misunderstood, and frustratingly difficult to treat with conventional medicine. Our guest today has dedicated over a decade to changing that. Lisa Erickson is the founder of Migraine Magick and the original pioneer in holistic migraine relief. Her groundbreaking work has been featured in Condé Nast, Woman's World, Health Monitor, Women's Day, and Glamour. She's been honored with the Woman Pioneer in Health Award and recognized as one of the best migraine bloggers. Lisa blends science, spirituality, feminine energetics to uncover the root causes of migraine pain, helping women reclaim their health, freedom, and vitality. Through her unique coaching and her Migraine Magick products, she's providing that migraines are not a life sentence, but a doorway to transformation. I'm so excited to welcome Lisa Erickson to the show. Lisa, thank you so much for being here, and I'm so glad that you are here.
Thank you, Nora. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. So Lisa, what inspired you to specialize in migraines and develop a holistic approach to treating them?
Well, I never set out to do it. It's just that I had them myself for over 35 years. Wow. And you know, as a mom, and I just ignored them and lived with them at the same time.
That's a long time.
Which is bizarre, right?
Yes.
And I find that common among a lot of women and moms and stuff. So even though I was doing everything I could to try to help myself, it really wasn't until my daughter came downstairs with one, and I was like, no, not on my dime. And I didn't know what I was gonna do, but to be quite honest, as a mom, I wanted something to help her with her pain.
How old was she?
7.
7 years old with
7
headaches.
Seems to be the lucky number for a lot of people.
That's when he starts.
I mean, everybody's different, but it seems to be a common number. But the biggest thing was I couldn't stand feeling helpless.
Mm-hmm. It's scary as a parent to see your child in pain.
Yeah, and because I knew when it could lead to, 3 decades later, I was like, no. So I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I was committed to doing something.
Wow. So can you share a little bit about your own journey with migraines, and like you just mentioned, you and your daughter, and what you've seen in clients that led you down to this path, right, into migraines?
Yeah, so for me, I went to neurologists, I went to the Leahy Clinic, I saw physicians, I tried the conventional route for decades, and I'm a firm believer in whatever works. So what finally kind of set me on the journey to try to figure it out with myself is I was prescribed one of the triptans. And at the time I lived in Boston, and self-admittedly, I took it incorrectly. I took it in the morning and then in the night. And I actually, people with migraines, they feel a lot of energy and in malls, when people used to go to the mall. So I was on the T, and there was a lot of people, and I could just feel myself getting hot, and I ended up passing out on the T. And this has never happened to me before in my life, so it's almost kind of embarrassing, but I was like, that's it. Granted, it was my mistake. I took it at the wrong time, but I was like, this can't ever happen again.
You can't rely on a pill.
And then I was on the triptans, and they didn't do anything anyways for me, so.
Wow, okay. So I know that many people think migraines are just bad headaches. Can you explain what really is happening in the body during a migraine?
Well, I would say that there's I call it a migraine algorithm at this point. I'll never forget when I was watching The Perfect Storm, you know that movie with Wahlberg and Gloucester?
Yes.
And I was like, that's it. That is a migraine. There was all these different systems that
so much happening.
Yeah, and honestly, it's usually an environmental trigger that just tips everything over the edge to create a migraine, because it's not just one thing. It's usually like, it can be a metabolic thing, it can be a vascular thing, it can be a stress thing, it can be a trauma thing, it can be many different things. And then the weather just kind of
I've noticed that. Yep, personally experienced that.
Yeah, so people think they get migraines from the barometric pressure change, which it's definitely a huge factor, but it's only because underneath there's not a solid foundation for those other really important things that are supposed to be balanced in the body.
Wow, okay. So I know you often mention this, like the nervous system is yelling for help. What do you mean by that, and how does it connect to migraine symptoms?
Right, so it's such a good question, because for the longest time it was like, oh, here we go again, let me just go in the dark room, let me just like pop 800 ibuprofen or whatever medicine, a Furicet, turn the fan on, close the, the curtains, and just barrel through it. It didn't even occur to me for the longest time to actually start listening to it. So when I started going deeper into my body, it was screaming for my attention to do that, because part of the issue is, at least in my experience, it's a dysregulated nervous system. It's both overwhelmed and underwhelmed, and it's like, feed me what I need, and so that I can kind of damper this other thing. So if you kind of think of it like, there's you, and there's all these inputs through the senses, and you're either like these lights are fine, but these could trigger, you know. And if, let's say I couldn't take really sweet senses for these peonies, if I wasn't solid, the scent alone could then
trigger,
so there's a lot
which would be linked to your gut. So like the lights would be linked to your vision, right? Sensitivity, which then your eyes are connected to your brain, obviously. So is your gut.
Yeah, so then the gut, you're bringing up the gut, you have the gut-brain connection, so you have the second brain, tons of neurotransmitters are produced there.
And a lot of people call the gut the first brain, because the very first thing that goes into your body is the food, the whatever you're intaking, and it goes to your gut. And whatever you're putting in there is how it affects your brain, right? Your head.
1,000.
But I completely understand that, and I've had others coming to the show talk about the gut and the issues, and the new habits that are the people have formed as far as how we're eating, the types of foods are available out there in the grocery stores, how we're kind of getting away from healthy eating and living healthy. Our environment has changed, which I bet if we were to look at numbers or studies from migraines from decades ago would be a lot higher now, because of the effects our environment has, we've created. So I understand that. So what you're saying is, pay attention to your nervous system. If something feels off, if you start getting migraines, or if you don't feel well, right? You feel like yucky, you can't really explain what's going on, look deeper, because there's a root cause that's really,
Yes, and for a lot of people, but not everybody, there's a staging system to migraine, and there's this thing called the prodrome. And a lot of times before the pain comes on, people feel the nausea. People feel the changing in their body temperature. They like, oh, they know.
Something's up.
Yeah, when it becomes more regular. So that's actually a good sign, because you can run interference right there. There's a lot of different kind of places where you can.
You have to be very alert on or understand your body. If you're so busy you're not paying attention to it, then you're, you don't realize it until it's too far, and now it's affecting you. Yeah.
And even the reverse is true, because people, the anxiety about the migraine attack is also keeping it going in perpetuity. And so there are people who are actually really hyper-focused on it, And then that also kind of
can trigger
works,
too,
yeah.
right? If you're so nervous, oh, I'm going to get a migraine, right? Okay, so my next question was going to be, how do gut health and metabolic issues play into occurring migraines? So we just talked about that a little bit, but do you have any other answers?
Yeah. So this is like my secret. You know, I'm not a doctor, but I just have a lot of experience. So I don't know if I mentioned this already, but I am for whatever works. I'm not against medicine or anything like that. But I feel and think and have observed that the reason why the migraine medication more times than not doesn't work is because there is a metabolic issue first. So you get the medicine, but if your metabolism is whacked, you can't digest it, so there's no efficacy.
Right.
When maybe if we were able to fix the metabolism, that would eradicate some of the migraine on its own. But even if it didn't, then the medicine maybe would have a fair shot. It doesn't have a fair shot to work.
So as you're stating that, I'm thinking in my head, well, kind of like cravings, the way people have cravings, right? There's usually a reason, like something your body's off, right? It's craving something, right? Most people crave sweets, which is their go-to. So when your body is lacking parts of nutrition, right? You're just not feeding it what it needs. You're gonna start craving coffees, sugar, I don't know, other things. And so that's when you, instead of going to those foods that we all know it's not good for you, maybe find the root cause. What's my body asking for? So kind of the same thing, I feel like, right?
You nailed it.
Your body is really telling you, hey, you know, it's doing a great job. By the way, the fact that it's responding that way, it's telling you I need something. Now it's up to you to figure that out, right?
Yeah. And one of the questions I ask, like when I work with people privately, is what are you craving when you're out of the attack phase? And they call it the hangover phase. And it's, for most people, it's salt. Salt and grease.
I don't like sweets. Like my body just rejects sweets.
Which makes perfect sense to me because the migraine brain is structurally different than a regular brain. And it runs on electricity and fats. Good ones, but usually people want, like, you know, pizza and fries or whatever. I mean, whatever works. I'm not judging, me too. But sometimes people they do want sweets, which would indicate more of a magnesium and calcium type of. But when people are craving the salt, it's sodium and potassium that they need to replenish.
That is so funny, actually. I'll share a very quick personal story. I love salt, salty foods. Like, I'm obsessed with salty foods. And I know for a fact that I run low on potassium. I know, like, you seriously just nailed it. And the doctors have tried to figure out, why do I run low? Well, right?
That's the $1 million question.
You know, when I was, you know, going through divorce and I didn't have time to take care of my body and I was so focused on 3 kids, raising them alone and trying to handle business and everything else, it's too stressful, so there was no focus on me. Why am I craving the salty foods, right? What is going on in my body? I knew I was low in potassium, but again, like, we're not all, we haven't gone to medical school.
Right.
We don't own a medical degree. So it's hard to, but then I feel like also many medical providers are not really, you know, they just don't have the time. It's not that they don't know, but I feel like they're always so rushed. They don't have the time to get you the answers, everything that you need, right, to dig deep into the root causes.
Well, I've heard that even in medical school, and no, whatever, it's changing now, but I've spoken to different physicians and they're like, we get like 1 day on nutrition or like one.
Right, which is weird, right? Why is that not taught when that is really the root cause of many diseases?
Right.
If you don't eat properly.
But they're focused on symptoms.
Right.
So
Let me fix the issue versus the root cause, I feel like.
Let me make you feel better. But in the moment.
Right.
Well-meaning.
Right, which I'm not going to get into the medications portion, but let's go back to our show. Okay, so my next question was going to be, why do you think so many people go back and forth to doctors but still get no relief?
I think we covered that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's symptom. They're not getting into the terrain.
The root cause.
Yeah, they're not
What's
getting
actually
under the
causing
hood.
Yep. Okay, so what are some of the most common misconceptions about migraines in traditional medical world?
Well, ironically, I mean, I hear from customers and clients what they get, which isn't what I got. Like they'll say, people think migraine is a headache. I know it's not a headache. It's like a full body runaway freight train transformer blowout. So I never got that. And if anybody ever said that to me, I would be like, are you serious right now?
Right.
You know, like it's inaccurate. So it's not a headache. I think the most important thing that is sabotaging people is thinking they need X amount of water a day to hydrate. So first of all, water doesn't actually equate with hydration, right? It's got to have the nutrients in it. A person with a migraine brain, which is structurally different, also, and this is, but everybody agrees with me. Nobody has ever disagreed with me on this. Like when you have chronic migraines, you actually pee a lot. You pee 50% more than a regular person.
No way.
So one tip is
Wow.
you could Google like a urine chart and you could take a look at like the color of your urine and you could see if like you're hydrated or not. That's just a little thing. But when you're drinking the recommended daily amount of water, and by the way, I don't think I've had a glass of water in 35 years and I don't have migraines anymore. That's terrible.
Wow.
No, I do. I just really don't like water. But if there's a metabolic issue and if you think of like the cells and they're just kind of like blah, 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 they don't have like structure, right? And you're pounding water and the cells aren't holding on to, let's say, the potassium,
And
the
that's
magnesium,
why
the electrolyte
frequency
stuff,
to the bathroom. Yep.
then when you're pounding water, you're further flushing out anything that you already have.
But unless you take, electrolytes, right? And I've worked with that and tested, and now I purify my water first, right? I will refuse to drink any tap water ever. So I purify it first, which means there's really no solids, nothing in the water. It's just water. But then I add electrolytes. Now, if I were to drink the water with nothing in it, purified, I'd be in the bathroom every 5 minutes. But when I add electrolytes, it stays. I probably don't go every 5 hours. It stays in my body.
Yeah, it gives
But
the
then
structure to the water, and then your cells
It's
can
absorbing
hold
it more, right? But then it causes, other things, right? For some people, it may look like they're gaining weight because you're retaining the water. If you don't sweat it out, you don't go to the bathroom frequently, it looks like you're gaining weight. So I get that. May look like a new issue. So I get that. Okay, so I really want to move on to talking about, you have a few products. You've created one? I don't know how many products, but you created your own products.
I don't know anymore.
Do you mind if we talk a little bit about that? Like
Yeah.
there's the help with migraines. I'm looking forward to seeing what it is.
Oh,
what
okay.
it
You want me to show
does.
you?
I would love to see it. Yes.
Okay, so I came out of the gate with a product to help, not to sell. It was just for my daughter. Well, I was trying to make it for me. I made it for her. Then I had to sample me first. And the original product is actually, it's a spray-on. And the headache clinic out in Washington State told me that the reason why it was so effective, because I'm not a physician and I wasn't into like all the deeper biochemistry in the beginning, is because it's a topical spray-on and it bypasses the whole, it goes right into the bloodstream and it's all natural. So it bypasses the whole metabolic process, which is why it's successful. So it's actually,
Oh, it's a good sized bottle.
yeah, it's 4 ounces and it comes with a spray-on.
Where do you spray it, or when do you spray it?
Okay, so I recommend for most people, it's preventative. You want to prevent the migraine. You want to get it on a different
Before
track,
it
on a
starts?
wellness track. And your migraine has a pattern, but people don't pay attention to that. So the way I would do it is you would shake it up, and then, can I spray it in here? I don't know. So this is, you would just start hitting all the pain points, right? So like for me, it would have been my occipital ridge, it would have been my face, it would just be this, and it would be my gut. Right? So wherever the person really, the migraine, like it's usually in the same place often.
Does it have a scent? Is that something
Smells
that
very
it does?
clean.
Oh, like essential oils.
There are some essential oils in there, and that's the other thing that I was very attuned to, because scents would make me nauseous. Like I could never go on the perfume counter in a mall, or I could never. So in 10 years, I've only actually had 2 returns, and one of the women, when she returned it, God love her, she sent it back even better packaged than I would, and she just said, I was so afraid, the fear of triggering one. Not even having...
So she never really tried it?
No, she
It was
didn't.
just the fear.
So there was that, and then I realized that there's other acupuncture points that are harder to get, and also children sometimes can't articulate where it hurts, because with a migraine, it's kind of all over the place. So the roll-on is what I made, and then that can get all, and then you can tap it, and it's got a titanium,
okay.
so it's cool. So there's this built-in cooling thing. And also, you can get those other spaces, like your ear, like they're all behind your
right.
ear, and you can add more targeted pressure.
Right, so you don't want to spray that around your eyes, but you can roll it.
Right, but the thing is, somebody with chronic migraine actually needs that, because the delivery feeds more cells
It's
fast.
absorbed faster.
Yeah, and it targets a larger surface area. So
Right.
this is good on the go, on the fly, and then kids can get doctor's notes and take it into school, you know. I still kind of haven't figured the workaround with the glass roll-on with kids, because I don't really want to do plastic. So there's that. So these are the 2 first products. And then, because sometimes, depending on how bad it is, it may not be enough, I also created these isotonic and binaural frequencies you could listen to that would help balance the brain waves, because it's all erratic.
I'm a huge believer in frequency sounds.
So you like binaural, all that, right?
I use it every morning.
Yeah.
I use it actually in the shower, because the sound just travels a lot better, I feel
How do
like.
you get sound in the shower?
How? A speaker. I'll put the frequency sound, and then while in the
It's
shower,
waterproof?
it just echoes. Yeah, well, no, it's on the wall, so it's not, the water's not getting on it.
I love that. I'll
But
have to try that.
And it's like my time. Okay, that's when I can manifest, meditate. It's all happening at once. It's first thing in the morning. Wait to have a good day.
So this was inspired actually by a private client, and most of them are women, but this guy had a lot of stress, a bigwig CEO, and he's like, I need something else. So I ended up having this Migraine Magick helmet created.
Now we're going into the future.
Oh, you can hear it. And then you can hook up to the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth, and you can stream the isochronics.
I hear it. I think it's on.
Oh, sorry. But at any rate, it goes over your head, and this can tighten it and release it. And what it'll do is it'll just hit all those points. It'll hold it, and then it will release it. And there's all kinds of like padding inside, so it
Pushes on
doesn't
the
hurt.
pressure
Yeah, it's actually
points.
kind of comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's bulky. But so there's that.
For someone who has bad migraines.
Yep.
That's
if
great.
they need a little more. So I'm super excited. I just think that that's the coolest thing.
I think
And
so
then
too.
this has kind of been done already, but I have the Migraine Magick ice cap. So there's people who love ice. Some people like heat. And so this one is different from what's out there because it goes over, the whole head. And it gives a little room for the heat to come off. But that just goes in the freezer. And then...
and you have this right here?
Yes, I also, but these aren't 1000% ready yet, but I have the Migraine Magick patches. So it's just a little added protection if you don't really like but these are the big guns. The elixir's the big guns. This is supplemental, and the most important thing is everything is all natural, so it does metabolize fast in your body because it makes it through. So it does need more application.
Okay.
And you just kind of get into a rhythm with your body. You can't overdose on it. So it's like, and then depending on who you are and how you work with it, you can reach out to me. I can, give you some tips and stuff. And
sounds like they all work. But, probably best to talk to you about what's really going on with them so that you can help with, reveal the pain, right?
What do you
figure out the
need?
root cause, because the root cause, it's really what's going to help them, and then move forward with how are you going to cure that? How are you going to get past it?
Yeah. I mean, if you only get a migraine once in a blue moon, you just need the roll-on. If you're getting them either every day or several times, you need the spray.
The spray, okay. Wow. Okay, so I just have a few more questions.
Yep.
For someone who's struggling right now, what's one thing they can start doing today to help reduce migraine frequency or intensity?
Okay, so because everybody is just so different, also in the last 10 years, I have done a few different studies and I've figured out there's these migraine danger zones. And I used to have a migraine calendar, which people could download. I gave it, as a gift. And, old school, this isn't like a migraine tracker. It's like when I actually give you the dates through the whole year, give or take a few days before certain dates, where you could, if you get lazy and you don't continue with prevention, at least you could start 5 days before when the big one's gonna hit. Because again, there are patterns.
Yep.
So, but just last year I actually created a Migraine Magick natural support buddy. It's like a GBT now, with AI. And so you can go on my website, it'll be up today, but you can go on the website and there's actually a form that you could either fill out, or if you know how to speak into your phone, you can interact with it. That will take your personal information. It's not gonna diagnose anything because I'm not a physician, but it will help guide you into, it will tell you where the danger zone's on. It'll give you like breathing supplement. This is all to help supplement with the Migraine Magick roll-on and spray and all the other stuff. It's not, I mean.
So it predicts when they may have a migraine, or
no? It'll tell them based upon what they input a tailored type of natural way to support themselves for the danger zones. The danger zones don't change.
I see. Okay.
They don't ever change, but just some people are a day or two different than other people.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So if someone feels hopeless after years of migraine pain, what message would you want to share with them today?
Well, it took me 35 years.
That's a long time.
I know that you're not born with a migraine, so that means that things are off. And there's this story. Can I tell a little story?
Yeah.
So one of my private clients, this is meant to actually let your body remember that you can feel well. And when people feel well after being in chronic pain for so long, they're like, am I dying, So that you can scan your surroundings and look at what needs to shift. Like if you're in an environment that's not healthy and it's very stressed, like this is to work with the person, to
Right.
empower the person to help themselves or their family. So I was working with this woman, and she actually had stuff with her teeth when she was little. She had teeth problems. I don't know exactly what, but like she had a lot of teeth problems. And then we got to this place where she remembered that she would have belly aches. And then she remembered that she would have belly aches in response to her parents fighting.
Oh, wow.
And so she remembered sitting at the top of the stairs one day, like nauseous belly, like sick, because she was afraid her mom and dad were gonna,
Right.
split or whatever. It wasn't good. And she would always, then she realized she would always get nauseous with their fights. And then one day, I guess, like, I think it was between 7 and 9, she remembers sitting at the top of the staircase, listening to her parents fight, feeling so, I can feel it myself, sick to her stomach, and it was like the migraine went to the head. So it was like it was starting in the belly, which is not why I think it starts in the belly, but then it went to the head because it either got worse or she just couldn't stand that tummy ache anymore. I forget what the question was.
Yep. So you were telling me a story about, I think it was probably a successful story about your client who was going through some issues. But my question was, when somebody feels hopeless, what can they do? Like, what can they hope for when nothing has worked?
Well, the body is the most intelligent thing in the universe. So the body's saying, hey, I need to be nourished. I need to be replenished. I need some attention. And, it's not going to speak in English. So you have to do the work, and you have to my biggest, I would say, if traditional medicine doesn't work, go find people who have either cured themselves or, probably is more appropriate, have learned how to manage their migraine. So where it used to be 365 days a month, maybe it's once, and the severity is much, much less. And I know a lot of people would be like, that's like hitting the lottery, when you're in that kind of daily pain.
Right, especially migraines. It really, truly affects and takes over your life because you can't focus, you can't change everything that's going on in your life, and it's like you're handicapped, right? You can't think, you can't take care of your kids, you can't, be the nice person that you want to be. So it really, really, truly affects you, and I can see that. Now, luckily, knock on wood, I never get headaches.
Which amazes me.
And I don't have issues with that. So I really can't relate fully to that, but I can imagine how difficult it must be, because if your head hurts so much, how can you even think? How can you even function, right? Because that's all you're thinking about. You feel it. It's up there. It's in your thoughts.
It's crazy how so many people, mostly men and women that I've either worked with or spoken to, how they have just learned to overcompensate and continue on, and it's actually making the migraine pattern go even deeper.
And I really wish, and I hope whoever's listening to this, they really pay attention to their environment. What are you surrounded by? Is it individuals that are overly stressing you out? Is it the environment itself? Is it a particular candle that you're constantly lighting up that's really triggering your body? Is it a shampoo? Maybe it's the scent or the chemicals in it. Is it maybe the soap in your laundry detergent, or it could be the clothes. Now, a lot of our clothing has so many chemicals in it, right? I have personal stories to that, where I found out, my son was, diagnosed with arthritis, and many triggers that he had, and part of it was he was getting chemicals from the clothing, right? Being a single mom, I was going and buying the cheapest clothes that looked nice enough, right? But not realizing the effects it had, because we wear clothing all the time, so it's absorbing all the chemicals, right? Everything is made in China, it's bleached, it's coated with all kinds of chemicals. So, I want everyone to really pay attention to their surroundings. What are you eating? What are you smelling? What's around you? You know, you could be living in an apartment complex. Who's living next to you? What chemicals are they spraying constantly? Is that affecting you? You could be, you know, environmental or like allergies as well. If you have allergies, it's a trigger. That actually explains a lot that's going on in your body. If you have allergies, like it's just not normal to have allergies. I know it's normalized now. We say it's normal, but it's really not normal to have allergies. Whether it's food, animals, seasonal, it's not normal. And that means your gut, your body's fighting. It's telling you, you need to do something about this. You know, it's, you know, don't live this way. You need to make some changes. So pay attention to everything around you.
Allergies are brutal. I don't have allergies, thank God, but like,
right.
I see so many people suffer from them.
Exactly. Sleep, stress, you know, like pay attention to everything. Okay, so, I mean, I'm so glad that you got to share all this, you know, so much that you have created, all these products, and the many people you have helped. But how can somebody reach out to you, and what can you support them in, or, you know, what services can you provide to them?
So it's migrainemagick.com. Right now I'm in transit with my business, but you're able to buy the roll-on right now and the spray-on. I do work with coaching people who realize that, oh, this is giving me relief. I want to go deeper to shift the patterns behind that setup. So I do that. I put out a lot of free content, educational content as well. And then I actually have a migraine retreat because I know when those zones are. So it's like, it's almost like when you've dealt with a migraine for so long, you have to retrain your body to wellness. And what better way is if I know when a migraine, if there's a time when you're predisposed to not having it, right? So there's certain times of the month when I facilitate that. I usually do that once or twice a year.
That's interesting. I think that's great. You're putting all the people together that they have the same issue, right? So they can connect, but also they can heal together. And I think that's pretty transformational. Like, that's great for you. Yeah,
and what I'm so proud of is that there's probably like 15 or 20 women that came in the migraine door, right? And at this point, I didn't have them anymore because I know how to take care. If I get a breakthrough migraine now, it's because I've gotten lazy with self-care. And all the women will tell you who've worked with me privately, they know how to prevent it. And if they get one, they just got lazy. And sometimes they know they're intentionally being lazy because they just don't want to do what needs to be done, which is hysterical. But it's human.
We do it. We do it with, you know, not just migraines, but everything else. You just feel like, I just don't want to do it right now.
Yeah, I don't feel like cooking that, so I'm going to...
But then if you think about the long-term effects of not doing that, it's easier to just do the little thing. Yeah. But I get it. We all do it.
So some of these women came through the door, they got well, they're like, oh my God, they did some coaching, and now they're like, I have copious amount of time that used to be devoted to pain, worrying about pain and anxiety, and then the hangover phase, recovering from it. What do I do now? So I went into like the coaching, but then I ended up helping some of these women create their own businesses.
That's incredible.
So it's just been a really
positive
fun journey.
Effect.
I mean, not many people think migraines are fun, but they're not.
So Lisa, thank you so much for being here and sharing your stories and, success story about you, your daughter, and also creating these, I see why you're named in Magic, right? Magical.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like they really do create magic for many people with migraines that is super painful. So I really, truly am thankful that you're here. As I see and meet so many individuals with migraines, even though I don't get them, I don't fully experience and experience what other people actually have gone through or are going through, but I feel awful for that, anyone that has to go through it, and I'm thankful that you have worked so hard for so many years to create magic like this and help so many individuals. So thank you so much for being here, and I really do appreciate it. And anyone else that's watching out there, please feel free, visit her website, her social media, and or reach out to her with any questions that you might have about her services. So thank you so much again, and we'll stay in touch.
Okay, thank you, Nora.
Thank you.